Well, I bought a miniature tractor. Hold on. With a fully enclosed sealed cab and air conditioning. And that's heat too. That's not relevant for me living in Florida, but AC. I'm a sucker for some AC. It's proper AC too, with an engine mounted AC compressor and everything, not some electric mini split stuck on the side. It's legit a miniature tractor. This is kind of me living out my childhood dreams of having property and equipment, except miniature equipment, miniature property, you know? I've actually been looking for something like this for a while, and I swear it's like whoever decided to build this thing, because it is by far the smallest tractor you can get, and the only one anywhere near this size with an enclosed cabin AC. And it's like they had me in mind when they were building it, because this thing's perfect for what I need to do. At least I think so. I think it's finally a piece of equipment we can all agree is logical, justifiable. Maybe not that, but at least a good fit. Probably not that either. But jokes aside, I'm pretty dang stoked on this thing. I mean, yeah. Let me explain. Give you a rundown of this thing. So basically, I've been looking for something, honestly, just like this years ago. Not as bougie with the enclosed cabin AC, don't get me wrong. I wasn't thinking that crazy, but getting on a bit of an equipment kick lately. I was looking for something that I could replace my lawnmower with, mow with it, but also do other things, odds and ends, moving gravel around, redoing my gravel driveway, moving heavy bags of concrete and pavers and cleaning up and leveling areas out, just doing all kinds of odds and ends, maintenance stuff, little upgrades here and there, just having something to move stuff around and use for that kind of stuff, but also mow with, because my mower was getting pretty tired even back then, and it did end up kicking the bucket. It's been broken for about a year. So the problem was everything I could find tractor-wise, which obviously I just didn't look hard enough, was way larger than this, way too big. It was always set up for a tow-behind mower, which would never work for my property because I got too many obstacles to mow around. So then I wouldn't really be able to mow with it, or at least replace my mower with it. So then it's just a tractor to do the other things, and it's too big to do those things well either. So it just kind of defeats the entire purpose. And I just kind of wrote off tractors. It's not really being a viable option for when the time came, and where my list of projects, my laundry list, had gotten to that critical point where it was going to be cheaper to buy the equipment and do it myself than to pay someone to do it. And 9 times out of 10, given that scenario, I'm going to choose to buy the tool or buy the equipment, because then I have it. If I need it again, we're in the green. And then if a neighbor needs it, a friend needs it, they don't have to buy it, rent it, pay someone to do it. You know, that's just an added bonus. So I usually choose to go that route unless the tool's kind of something I have no interest in, you know, but in this case especially, because equipment in general, I mean, come on, it's a childhood dream. I'm sure for a lot of us it's a tool, but it's also just fun. I didn't have to do the math twice, you know. I was itching and ready to go. I've been fighting the urge to buy equipment for years. Even before I bought this place, I was actually planning on buying just bare property, some equipment, used equipment, and building it out myself. Just time frame wise and financially, it wasn't really going to work out to then still have a place to store cars, build cars, and a place to live. That's kind of important too. So I went this route. And while I would love to have a large 10-acre property, 20, 30, 40, I'm really happy with where I'm at, you know? I have enough room. I have a great location. I mean, I can golf cart to the parts store, to the grocery store. I'm 5 minutes from the river. I can get down there real quick, throw the boat in the river, go ride around. I've got awesome neighbors. And again, I have enough room. We just really have to maximize it. And I'm a big fan of that. Efficiency, trying to use space wisely. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being the type of person that likes to be happy with what I have instead of always wanting more. I don't know, but I get a thrill out of trying to do a lot with a little. And I recently kind of had a breakthrough with realizing, not a loophole with code, but I was really limited in what else I could build because of the codes and the zoning of where I'm at. But I figured out kind of a way around it I hadn't thought of before that allows us to do everything I wanted to do for the last several years. In order to do those things, we need some equipment. Now, we don't need to buy equipment. We don't need to own 2 pieces of equipment. This is, again, as much of a want as a need. I've always wanted it. It's fun. I enjoy it. It gets my gears turning, puts a smile on my face. And at the end of the day, for me, that's what matters. The side benefit is that it's math justifiable into where it's more cost effective than paying someone to do all those projects. Now, the problem is we have 2 kind of opposing almost types of things we need to do. We have the true construction projects, building out foundations and ripping up asphalt and doing concrete and all of that kind of stuff, which kind of requires a certain type of machine. And then we also have the odds and ends, the stuff I've wanted to be able to do for years, just having a tool to do stuff like that, clean up branches from a hurricane. We got one heading for us right now. It's supposed to turn, but every time we have one that hits, it's a whole 2-day process to get all the branches up, because I got to go cut them up into little pieces to put in my little lawn trailer, to take them out to the street and restack them and end up with like a 4 by 8 by 100 foot long pile. So having something to pick those up and clean up overgrowth and spread gravel, just all the odds and ends. And trying to find one piece of equipment to do everything is kind of tricky. And I always try to go that route. I'm a sucker for it because, instead of buying 2 okay things, if you combine that amount, then, I could get 1 nice thing. I'd rather have 1 nice thing than 2 okay things. But the reality is it just never really works out. And that's kind of how we ended up here. I still didn't know these existed, so I hadn't looked at them. I didn't know when I started all this, started looking, that this was even an option. But as I was looking for a mower, because my mower's been broken for a year, I've been basically push mowing. I've got a little RC mower. It takes me 2.5, almost 3 hours just to mow my yard. And that's not weed eating or edging. In the summertime, you got to do that every 1.5 to 2 weeks. So it was getting kind of old. I was like, okay, I got to knuckle down, get a mower. But to me, a mower is purely a tool. So I don't get excited about the idea of having a nice mower. It's just a tool to do a job. So I was dragging my feet on buying one. And that's when I just stumbled upon a subcompact tractor with a mid-mount mower and a front end loader. I started looking deeper and I came across this thing, which had just come out. It's the first and only subcompact with an enclosed cab and air conditioning. And it's by far the smallest tractor you can get. It's the smallest tractor you can get. And it's by a large margin the smallest with an enclosed cab and AC. Which is why it looks a little goofy. It's a little disproportional. The spacers help, but you got like kind of a regular sized cab on a little mower, or a little tractor. I want to call it a mower. It is a tractor though. So basically the tractors, you have the three genres. You have tractors, regular tractors, a bunch of sizes. Then you have compact tractors, smaller, obviously, kind of more suited to doing other things than just towing rear implements, farm work, that kind of stuff. And then you have subcompact tractors, which are even smaller, the smallest. So this is a subcompact, and then it's the smallest size of a subcompact. So the smallest of the smallest. And I don't know if scale will come through. Anytime someone comes to my shop for the first time, they always say it looks way larger in person. But this thing's pretty small. The cab, again, throws it off. But if you were to take the cab out of the equation, it is literally just a beefy, stocky riding mower. To give you a frame of reference, this is a 54-inch mower deck. You can go to any department store right now and probably find a riding mower sitting out front with a 54-inch mower deck. Now, the neat thing is this is a really heavy-duty mower deck, but size-wise, it's not much larger than any old riding mower, just beefier. So it has a 25 horsepower, 24 and a half horsepower, 3-cylinder diesel. Hold on, I'll show you. I gotta flip my bull bar down, But what's cool about sub 25 is, let me sit you down right here for a second. Just stay right there. Anything sub 25 horsepower, the emissions regulations are way lighter. So they don't have really any emission stuff. So it's just a super simple 3-cylinder, naturally aspirated diesel. It's actually mechanically injected. So no electronic injectors, no common rail type deal, literally just all mechanical injection like a 12-valve Cummins. So the excavator is the same way. It's 21 horsepower, and it's the same thing where it's literally just a naturally aspirated 3-cylinder diesel. See the AC compressor as well. So obviously it'd be nice to have more power, but even when you go up to 32, 34 horsepower in the slightly larger subcompacts, you have a whole diesel particulate filter and emission stuff. So it gets way more complicated for that a little bit more power. This is kind of the sweet spot. It's a 4-wheel drive, and it's got a locking rear diff. So it's pretty capable off-roading. It's got a ton of steering angle. Maneuverability is great. Now, obviously, we have a front end loader and a 3-point rear hitch. So this is pretty staple of tractors. Your 3-point in the back here and your PTO. So this is what you would normally run any implement off of, and what tractors are kind of designed to do is to run stuff off the back, off the PTO shaft here, which is where you see the tow behind mowers and stuff. What makes this work is that it has a mid PTO as well, where the shaft comes off forward and allows us to run the mid-mount mower deck. And obviously this is what makes the difference between being able to use this as a mower or not, for me at least. I mean, I did my whole yard with the front end loader on, which we can take that off relatively easily just to see how it would be, and it really wasn't bad at all. And we can take this loader off. So this loader is capable of 800 something. It's like 867, 59, 97, 800 and something pounds lift capacity, which is pretty good because, you know, the large stand-on mini skid steers or the smallest, you know, ride-on mini skid steers, which aren't much smaller than this, they're similar, that's about their operating capacity. So for how small this thing is, it does pretty well, but we are gonna be at the limit. So there's definitely gonna be things where we're gonna be capping out the limit of what it can lift. But you can spec yourself down a rabbit hole. And the reality is, for most of the things we need to lift, it'll be just fine. At the end of the day, again, it's easy to think, well, I want to be able to do this in X, Y, and Z. But for me, what I realize is that something even pretty inefficient is still way more efficient than what I'm used to, which is doing everything by hand, digging footers by hand, digging trenches by hand, trying to grade an area behind the shop with a landscaping rake. And the efficiency is relevant, but it's kind of irrelevant because anything is such a drastic improvement. So I haven't used the loader too much yet. So that's still kind of remains to be seen, but I think it'll work for what we need to do. It's got a skid steer, quick attach style. So basically pull the latches, pop on your other attachment. Basically any skid steer attachment will work for this. And it's a detachable loader. I haven't done it yet. I still need to try it. Latches here. It actually has this little portal windows to inside. It's kind of cool. So you put these kickstands down and then kind of get it set up under your latches, lift it off, back up a little bit, and then you just pop your lines off. So there's 4 quick connect lines here for the main loader. And then I did option this with the 3rd function. So I've got these 2 lines here, which go to these fittings here. So that way we can run a grapple, which is one of the main things I need. So we'll have to try it just for fun, just to see what the difference is, because I imagine all that gone. So yeah, and then the mower deck, kind of the same thing. There's pins, we disconnect, drop it down, and then you just drive over it. It's designed to be driven over, which is another reason why we had to go this size on the spacer. I wanted to go wider, but the front needs to be narrow enough to go over this, but I'm good with it. Fits in tight places, does what we need to do. So obviously, I might have mentioned the cabin AC a few times. That's a big, the big selling point of this thing. So let me show you inside here. The crazy part to me is that this thing new costs less than a lot of the used mini skid steers I was looking at, like ASV RT40s, even a decent shape RT25 or a nice stand-on with, used with 500, 1,000 hours on it. That's obviously open cab. While it's not a skid steer, you couldn't do skid steer stuff with it for how expensive construction equipment was, so this thing felt like a bargain. Because I'm not a buy new kind of guy, and obviously this thing is new. Because it just came out, I couldn't find one used, I had to buy it new. And yeah, that's not normally my MO. I'd rather someone else put the scratches on it, wear the new smell out, and then I buy it for significantly less. But in this case, that wasn't really an option. But this might be normal, I don't know. I never go to dealerships, but they had a loader rebate. So basically, if you were buying the tractor outright, you got the loader for free, taken off the top. So that made it, more enticing. But yeah, so coming in here, we've got doors that open out on both sides. One thing I'll give Coyote too, they're kind of like an off-brand, not a super off-brand, but not one of the big names like a John Deere or a Kubota. But I feel like this is very finished, it's got this little deal, for USB stereo aux, has a sound system, charger, the loader joystick here with all the trim. I just always admire this kind of stuff. I think about building stuff myself, and this takes a lot more effort. And this is our loader joystick. So, left and right's bucket curl, up and down. And then my 3rd function for the grapple, for example, is these buttons here. Yeah, let me key it on. I gotta turn the AC off. Got a freaking digital display. Headlights, low beams, high beams, turn signals. We can street drive it. We got work lights too, right here. Dude, they are bright. It's pretty crazy. It's also got this tablet. Now this does feel a little add-on, you know, not OEM, I guess. But it's literally just a full-on tablet. All sorts of stuff though. You can play music. We got speakers up here. This came with it. I don't think I would have optioned this out. But yeah, it's nice to have. See the little portholes. I actually haven't tried to open these yet. They're glass. You can reach in and unlock this. Oh, it's got cruise control. Here's the throttle. Now, another neat thing, kind of specific to the smaller tractors, is hydrostatic drives. Now, it's a good and a bad thing. I mean, there's a reason large tractors have real transmissions and kind of almost like an automatic versus a manual. But the benefit is, instead of, let's say, we need to do a 3-point turn, you got to drive forward, stop, switch into reverse, back up, stop, switch into forward. You just have a forward and reverse pedal. So you want to go forward, you push that pedal. You want to go reverse, you push that pedal. Makes it really nice when you're doing like loader work going in and out or just mowing, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it, I think. One thing I wish they, the wheel tilts, which is nice, but I just wish the wheel was taller. If anyone knows where I can get a spacer, I might try to make one. And it's okay, it would be nice for it to be, you know, all up riding high. Like more matching with the loader joystick. But yeah, so I think that's the gist. I'm not quite at the point of absolutely needing to mow again, but I think what I'm gonna do is try to take the loader off. We'll see how that pans out. I haven't done it yet. Go mow. Once we're done, then we put the loader back on, take the mower deck off, and then see how it is without the mower deck. One thing I'm really looking forward to getting for the back here is a dethatcher. I have one for a tow behind, and I used it with my little RC mower, but you gotta weigh it down and try to get the right amount of like push down to dig out enough, but not too much. But it pulls out the old grass and stuff, which we need to do to overseed, because we need to overseed. And then you can go back over and re-agitate it, the seed end. They make one for this, or I might modify my old one to mount on here, or I had one specifically for this, modify it for the excavator, so then I could use the little mini excavator as like a rake too, which would be cool. But we can also use that as a rake. And if you follow along, you know my struggle with the leaves. I love the trees, I deal with the leaves, but man, I spent probably 2 weeks cleaning them up by hand this year, and it took forever. Being able to, in air conditioning, scoop them up, oof, buddy. And that's kind of the big thing for me with the AC. It just makes you want to use it more. And the fact that we can mow with it too, it makes the cabin AC that much sweeter, because I don't have to deal with allergies, getting freaking blasted in the springtime, dust and stuff. So is it excessive? Absolutely. Is it freaking sick to be able to mow in air conditioning? Yeah, definitely freaking something I never could have even dreamed of having the option to do. I do want to tint the windows though. I need to get my tint friend. Let's try to take this loader off. That's what the front end loader looks like taking off. The sand was just too soft. It's a little sketch on this pallet, but this is what it looks like in sport mode. So sports tractor. It looks obviously even goofier without the with the cab, with how small it is, but it's kind of neat. Let's mow. quick look. Less than 10 minutes. Obviously, it's a little better without the front end loader. You guys are about to overheat. See, even like this is a pretty tight spot. Don't want to go quite all the way down. Trees, I've never had to deal with, them being a problem because I was using the RC mower for these, which all of these, I gotta hit it, would be a problem for even just any regular riding mower. How do we want to square this off? Go this way. I'll show you guys the more intricate mowing because that's where this is the least good. One thing is, I could have got this with a 60-inch deck for about the same price, and I didn't, so I could fit through my back gate. But in hindsight, I probably should have, because then the mower deck would be getting out under stuff better than it is now, Actually, I need to get this spot right here real quick. It's so enjoyable mowing like this. I mean, just in general, like, it's just fun. I did fit through here the other day, but I'm not going to. The idea. Oh, let's put it in high range. Take advantage. Because it's kind of my one area, like, you'll hear it. Like it definitely feels like it labors to get going. But I mean, it's fine. One thing I gotta do is move my truck and get that done too. Is pretty rough. I think I'm going to run it all the way up. Oh, we're still in high. Definitely a low environment for sure. Oh, it's so freaking cool though. I love it. It makes me so happy. Just freaking mowing my dang yard with an air conditioning. I do need to make a block-off plate, so that way I can, let's go to the front. I can get in my backyard easier. Should probably do that. It almost looks less goofy without the loader on it. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, but it's just kind of funny to see it. It's so stubby. I think this helps give you a better idea of size, though. I mean, it's a small little unit, Got a little bit of fluid. But yeah. Yeah, so what I want to do is make hopefully relatively relatively simple plate for the chute. This is a really nice chute. Thick rubber, but to fit. Oh, really? It's starting to rain. But basically, to fit through my gate, it has to come off. But then I don't want to leave it off. So what I want to do is make a plate that I can fold down, mulch, you know, and then flip it up and do, you know, kind of what this does. Yeah, I guess let's whip out some CAD, cardboard aided design. Not tea bag. Don't have an air-conditioned cab. I try to mow towards dusk because it's not as brutally hot, but I do try to avoid doing any sort of mowing at night, but I was real committed to getting this finished up. Now that we had our little block-off plate, we can get into the backyard easy and finish mowing and then put this thing back together. I need to do the seat thing. Seat bypass. Look at all that condensation. Quick shoot worked. I forgot to even show it to you guys. I did not open it initially, so I probably clogged this. Oh, it's not bad. But, you know, you can lift it up, put it like that so the door can still open. And then when we need to get through or whatever, close it. But in this box is our quick hitch thing. I wasn't sure when that was ever going to show up, but that's pretty exciting. I want to get that on and set up. All right, I'm hoping this is just a weather pack connector for the seat. Oh shoot, I forgot I had these pigtail ones. Oh yeah, pretty confident. Yep. Fortunately, they definitely made this easy to bypass because with my old zero turn, they had this really clever but annoying solution to letting you bypass it easily. This piece of cake, I think. Not the most beautiful thing, but whatever. We're committed now. Throw a coat of paint on the new chute thing. If this worked, we shouldn't have a seat signal pop up. Oh man. Okay, that didn't work. There's probably a resistance value or something. I was hoping it'd be easy. Just kidding, I'm just dumb. I didn't think about it, and I did the bypass plug on the seat side, not the chassis harness side. So, hold on. Yeah, I thought about it as soon as I turned you off. I was like, oh, wait a second. Why did I plug it in? I plugged it in on in here. This wire goes to the seat. This plug. This is what the engine computer, chassis computer, or whatever reads. Now, I have no seat shake. Which means the seat sensor's off. Sweet. All right, cool. So now we can start it while we're not in it. Go try to push down on the seat. You got to put a decent amount of pressure, and we can, leave it running with it just in neutral. So that'll be nice. Yeah, so I want to put our new 3-point quick attach on. Oh, I got to grab my thing from paint though. Paint should be about dry, I think. Now, the point of this quick attach for the rear is it's not too bad to pin in the 3-pin connections, right? It's not saving you that time in that aspect. It's having to adjust the whole 3-point situation every single time is what's kind of a hassle, We got to take these locking pins out of these turnbuckles and adjust them out to get it on, and then adjust them back tight and level it and square it up. So anytime you would change something on the rear here and implement, you would have to do that. With this, as long as it fits in this, we can just pop it in, party on. All right, so now, unless we have to adjust this, which we might. Oh, shoot. This thing's too small. Parking brake. Gotta say, it looks a little better, a little less goofy with the quick hitch on the back now. Looks like buried in the dirt. Yeah, no, I gotta clean that. It has a quick connect for the PTO shaft, but now it's full of sand. Because this is like honestly the project that really kicked me in the pants to get equipment. It's like, it's absurd. This is my soil. This was grass, and then with the lean-to, obviously all the grass faded away, and it's just straight sugar sand. To put that thing in 4-wheel drive just to get it back here, it does look a little goofier without the mower deck. Sport mode. Sweet, all right, go whip this thing around, have some fun with it. Pretty happy with this thing, man. I gotta say, pretty neat little unit. Definitely needs some window tint though. As I've said a couple times now, I'm really happy with this thing. I mean, obviously I gotta chill on the equipment buying. I got a lot of race car stuff to spend money on, tools, but I think it'll make more sense when we get into the more involved projects. Not that it was necessary to buy the equipment, but why I'm excited about this, because it's kind of like expanding the infrastructure to be able to do more car stuff, you know, as opposed to getting away from car stuff, if that makes sense. Now, it's not necessary. We could just pay someone to do it, and it would be more expensive to pay someone, but it puts a smile on my face. I enjoy it. I'm really, really happy with this thing. This for sure, good long-term little piece of equipment. Super versatile. We can do all sorts of stuff with it for property maintenance or odds and ends upgrades throughout time. The excavator is more of a temporary to get these projects done thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to keep it just to have it and do odds and ends as well, and just because it's enjoyable to run it. But if the time comes where we're not using it anymore and don't need to for the foreseeable future, then we can't always sell it. So anyway, yeah, I'm done spending money on equipment though. I did order all my attachments, finally took the plunge on that, so got that grapple coming. Finally ordered some pallet forks. About it for this. And I got, I've ordered the thumb and the quick coupler and a wide grading bucket for the mini excavator, because those are the main things we need to start using it for the projects I want and need to do first. So basically, my long-term plan is to not only get us more storage for stuff so we can get more storage out of the shop, basically replace storage space with tool space so that we can get more tools, so that we have more capability to do cooler things and do more things and be more self-sufficient, and again, dabble in things I haven't got to do before with the builds. But thing two is building more car storage that's accessible. We have enough, but they're not accessible. You know, the Monte Carlo, for example, it's on the top of the lift there. So it's like, I want to pull that thing down and do a little fix AC and get it to be at a good driver point. So I can drive it around, but even if it was, it's like I can't, you know, unless I want to leave it outside, there's nowhere I can really put it. Either it's accessible and unprotected, or it's protected and not accessible. You know, that's kind of the problem. That's what I'm trying to solve here, right? On top of just finally putting concrete back there because it's almost unusable. I probably could not park a car back there at this point. Fixing the driveway, building maybe a little small track for some electric drift cart things I want to build. You know, there's a lot of ideas, but the important ones are getting more part storage to allow me to do shop upgrades tool-wise, to allow me to do crazier builds, and then also building out the ability to store more cars in a way where you can get in them and go, because that's the difference between using and not using them. And why? What's the point of having more cars, even if they're bucket list cars that I'd love to check off my bucket list, if they're never get driven and they just sit around, you know? So for that, I'd rather have this and a mini excavator because I get to use them more. And then obviously, eventually, they'll build the infrastructure to have more cars and be able to use them, right? Does that make sense? Oh gosh, that was a lot of jibber jabber, but I'm pretty excited about this thing. I enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think of it. We got a lot to do. I don't know what we're getting into next. Kind of depends on when the excavator stuff gets here. I'd like to get that stuff knocked out so we can start doing some property cleanup and fixing, because this hurricane looks like it's for sure going to turn, but there's another formation area behind it that looks like it would potentially come straight to us. So I'd like to get some of this stuff cleaned up before the hurricane does it for me, you know, randomized, right? So I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what you think of the new mini tractor. I'm sure there's going to be some differing opinions, but I think this thing's pretty sweet. Curious to see what you guys think, but for now, I got to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you next time, whatever we end up getting into. But just know there is a bit of a method to the madness. There is a plan. I'm not off the rails, never touching cars again. I'm just trying to better set us up to enjoy building cars, continue to enjoy building cars, and to be able to use other cars if we finally go and put together some of these bucket list ideas I've always had, you know? So it's kind of like, I don't have the money to do it all at one time, right? Like I gotta split it up. So it's like, take care of the infrastructure, and once it's done, and recoup, and then we can do more cars, you know? Right? Does that make sense? Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I gotta let you go. I gotta clean up and stuff, and then I gotta, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye. Goodbye, guys.